What does perfectionism say about you and your home? Create the life transformation you seek with the best self awareness and transformation advice. Go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell so that you are notified every week when I upload a new video. Welcome to my series on perfectionism and the metal element. In 2005, I received my master's in 5-element acupuncture. I'm so excited to share more information with you about the 5 elements. If you have not yet seen my video, What is Perfectionism and Where Does It Come From? I recommend that you watch it to learn more about the details of the metal element and how it's showing up in your life. So your home is much like your body. It's a place that you want to feel happiness, peace, be healthy, connected not only to the heavens above, but inward to your own self. The dynamism of the metal element is respect, value, peace, connection, purpose, and meaning. The extremes are something like minimalism to hoarding. Yes, they're all a part of the metal element, and they all emote the emotion grief. So feeling like shit, unworthy, bad, turning inward and kind of chewing yourself and spitting yourself out, this is the nasty part of the metal element, and it's typically a part of the colon. So if you're constipated within your home or your body, it's affecting you on a body, mind, emotion, and spirit level, and the ability to actually breathe in is affected. I talk about breathing a lot in the metal element. What is perfectionism and where does it come from? But also the video on perfectionism and how it affects momentum. So those are both two really great videos to bring your awareness to your own breathing. Whatever's happening in your home and your body is a reflection of your spirit. How your home can represent you is if, for example, outside of your home, the garden, the walkway up to your home itself looks perfect. But at the same time, you can feel like shit within yourself. Mean, bitter, cutting, inward direction. I worked with a client, about maybe 15 years ago, and she was a perfect example of this. She was praised for the gardens and outside of her home, how everything looked. It was immaculate, but she would never let anyone inside of her house. She told me it was basically like a garbage dump. It really affected her self-worth and who she was. So she spent more time perfecting and creating beauty outside of her house and received that praise, while inward she was just cringing all the time. It's the same as looking the part and looking so perfect in all ways in your life, really taking the effort. And this is beyond wanting to look nice and ironing your shirt. This is beyond a level of everything being just right and just perfect. How many women do you know, and maybe this hits home for you, where you have the perfect body, the perfect everything, the perfect house, the perfect husband, the perfect car, and you are not feeling connected on the inside. You're not feeling that value and respect, that inner peace or connection to yourself that you're really looking for. So when you're spending all this time making everything appear and look perfect on the outside, it's a sign. If it's always looking outward for it, that is a reflection of what is needed on the inside. So one of the things I'm going to talk about in another video is I'm a perfectionist and the comparison game. The comparison game gets into the small intestine and sorting. You and me and many other things. So do you know anybody who's giving, baking? Oftentimes it's not necessarily always about just giving. It really is about receiving the praise, the thank you, the appreciation for whatever it is that this person is doing. And I mentioned in one of my other videos, perfectionism and where does it come from, a bit about if your garage is too full to get your car into, you're constipated on a body, mind, emotion, and spirit level. It's a great example and reflection of what's happening in your home is happening within you right now. Oftentimes when you have things stacking up, It's the seeing value in everything. It's the seeing value that maybe one day, or holding out that maybe one day this item will have value again, or maybe one day I'll get into that size again. It will have value for me. Okay, so that's the nature of holding on. That is the colon not letting go. And then when we get to an extreme, it looks like hoarding. And of course, way before hoarding is your garage is too full and you can't get your car into it. Okay, so the inability to sort through your stuff to determine what has value and what no longer holds the value for you is the small intestine and the sorter. And as I just mentioned, I'll be doing a video on perfectionism and the comparison game. The small intestine is part of the fire element. So another thing that can happen other than hoarding and holding on to things that may have value is oftentimes if somebody passes away and there's a lot of grief, you can see an evacuation happen, almost like diarrhea of just getting rid of everything. People who have a full house and go from like tons of stuff to nothing at all. And it can be anger too in the metal element that's really a sign of grief. You know, all the times in the movies where the women are throwing all the men's stuff out the second floor window and there's a pile of clothes. That is a quick and easy, but it's also generated an anger way of letting go and moving things out. It's creating this space because who wants to look at that stuff anymore, right? So there are things in your house that you don't want to look at anymore. So if you think about it, if you've put anything that's painful to you, particularly that's grief related, and you have pushed it into a closet in your mind, body, emotion, spirit, in your house, and it's just closed, it's not moving, right? It's just like little, badgers creating a dam. It's like the river's flowing and then it's not at all. Okay, so when things are no longer moving, they become something. They can become something in the body, mind, emotion, spirit, and this is not something that we want to have happen. So a lot of the times the healing that you can have is literally cleaning out the areas of your body, mind, emotion, spirit, and your house that you have shut closed. You have cut it off, but you know it's there and it's building energy because it's there and you know it. And then it can become something. So take a look around your house right now. I know if this struck home with you, you've already thought of exactly what you need to clean out. And as you're cleaning things out, just think of the nature of a garage sale. You know, what no longer has value for you has great value to someone else. Okay. And oftentimes, you know that everybody is cleaning out their closets in the fall and the springtime, and that's energetic. It has to do specifically with the elements and the seasons. The metal element is about letting go in order to create emptiness and breathe in heavenly chi. And then the new beginnings and the transformation and change and birthing is the wood element, and that's the springtime. Just think about how many people are cleaning out their closets. It's not only the nature of switching your closets out for the season. There's an energetic reason why this is happening. So within your own body, if you're dragging around any anchors, invisible anchors and balls and chains that you can't see but know that they're there and there's grief related to them, or something that you're pushing away and you're not looking at, this is an opportunity to let go so that you can have a new beginning. All the books on cleaning your house up, like for example, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, any kind of tidying up book has to do with the metal element. And then just think about it. You're sorting through, which is the small intestine, which is super important because the small intestine is connected to the large intestine. Now I'm calling it the colon, but you know, the colon and the large intestine are the same thing and they're connected. So sorting is very important. Your sorting needs to be, it's about holding on to the nutrients and letting go of the toxins. It's the same thing with your stuff in your home and also within your being. Okay? So The concept of getting rid of everything that has no value for you anymore and then rolling up your socks like little sushis. Just think about how much respect and value is given to those socks. And then how fun it makes you feel when you open your drawer and it's all organized in this way. It's giving value and respect to your belongings. And in turn, that can help you feel better about yourself. Let's talk about frames hanging on a wall. What if you're sitting across from, or you see anywhere that you are, a crooked frame, crooked on the wall? It's just hanging there. How irritating is that? Do you notice that? Are you somebody that just can't stand it anymore and you have to get it from wherever you are and right the wrong? That's very metal. It's appreciation, it's aesthetics, it's beauty. So in the metal element, there is this magnifique piece, but when we get into perfectionism, it's gone overboard into seeking perfection within ourselves, okay? And at the same time, hoarding is a sign of grief. Like, bang, it is, okay? So if you're in touch with it and your garage is too full to get your car into, it's an opportunity to look at what's happening and get rid of the things that no longer hold value in your life. Now, hoarding, of course, can get way more extreme, where I've heard of things where it's basically like a garbage dump in the house and there are pathways to get through things. But just know that this is a call for help. And if you're somebody and you're not that extreme, but there's something going on with you and you can't quite figure it out and things are starting to stack and pile up, whether it's the dirty laundry or there's a bunch of paperwork or you have a room in your house that's just a disaster and you can't stop. You think about it all the time, but you just haven't spent the time to go through it and do these things that you need to do. Who has a room or part of your house like that? I mean, everybody does. So it's like, take the time, and whether it's a little stack of paper and it's making you crazy, or it's just an entire room that you have sectioned off, it's an opportunity to breathe and dive into it. So do you have an altar room, or a meditation room, or a place that's your space even if you live alone, where you love to read or connect, meditate, maybe even exercise as a meditation for so many people, do yoga, do your artwork, whatever it is, this is likely a very metal place where you're going to have this peace and connection. So every item can have deep meaning. And that also includes tattooing. The skin is the third lung. The value and appreciation and respect of actually tattooing yourself is huge. Okay, so anybody who has tattoos like that, whether it's one or two and they're hidden or out there, whether it's all over your body and on your face, has deep meaning to people who have them. It's incredibly metal. So why is a beautiful, gorgeous woman striving to look more beautiful and gorgeous? It's a feeling from within. A lot of the times we don't know what it is that we're carrying. And if the energy is grief and seeking perfection or to feel whole on the inside, the realization that it's coming out of a vacancy that you're seeking, sometimes desperately, that it's showing up in this manner. So look around your home and consider the things that you thought of while you watched this video. Minimalism is very much the lungs, and it can be a gorgeous thing. It's like walking into a museum or a cathedral, and there's a lot of open space for you to walk and move around. You may be attracted to that sort of aesthetics within your own home, that beauty. And when you start tipping over into like, it's not quite right, there's something going on there. Okay, but imagine that gone tenfold in another direction, where you're always waiting for the perfect day, or you can't relax because there's a little dust on the floor. It can get what people want to call OCD, and I'm not talking about that level. This is about creating awareness within you about the metal element and perfectionism, okay? And what does it mean about you and your home? You can ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I could let go of? What am I assigning value to? What or not? What is the meaning of this drive for perfection? This is a very superficial way to talk about all of these things, just to give you all a meaning and an idea and understanding of what it can look like, and where perfectionism may be showing up within you, and what is it saying about you and your home. So it's an opportunity to reflect and gain self-awareness. Now, the intricacies of and the dynamism of how this looks in every different person, because we're all different, and it's a beautiful thing, but it can look really different. And a lot of the reasons why these things are happening can be, a little, it takes a bit of an expert to tease it out, okay? So that's why I call it connecting the invisible dots for radical transformation. Okay, it's that awareness of what's actually happening in your life that can create the transformation. And it's likely that there could be, 100 things that you're looking for to try and transform in your life, and it's all related to one element. And that's what's so important about, at least for me, getting this ancient medicine out to you so that you know what's happening for yourself. Okay, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your response to this video and the information here. I invite you to check out the videos in the Perfection series. It'll give you more context to the metal element and beyond, and also all of the other 5-element videos that are coming. Okay, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.